So I've been a NEET for almost a decade now. For those who don't know, a NEET is not employed in education or in training. So being a NEET for a decade, time passes by so quickly. A few months feels like a few days. Years feel like a few months. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, when I started doing this, I was, 19? Now I'm 27? I think I was like, 18? 19? Yeah, now I'm almost 28. It's crazy. But imagine this, if you're me, every day is pretty much the same, so that's probably why it goes by so quickly. I stay up like really late, my sleep schedule's fucked, so I wake up like 4 p.m., play video games, from playing video games to like 6 or 7 in the morning, wake up at 4 p.m.,
Waking up at 4 p.m. is crazy. And I think that most dudes have had this type of schedule at some point in their life. I'm not saying that we woke up at 4 p.m., but we've all had that time where we were either in college or we were off for a week or two. And like COVID, for example, everybody got a taste of that. We got to stay up as late as we wanted to playing games, but there's a time for that. Like, I'm about to be off for Thanksgiving break. I'm about to get the whole week off. I'll be up playing games. I'll be up making videos. I'll be doing what I want to. I'll be chilling. I'll be watching movies, all of that. But there needs to be a balance, dude. To just do nothing but video games and beating your meat and just staying up late watching movies for 10 years is crazy. You're providing nothing to society. And I went and looked at this dude's page, and I'll link his stuff down in the description because I always give credit to anybody that I react to. I went and looked at his page, and there's a good amount of people in his comment section that actually agree with this way of life. And they're like, hey, who wants to work? Like, nobody needs to get a job. Why would we want to be slaves for these big corporations? And that's not what it's about. It's about working for your keep. You know, don't get me wrong. I hate paying taxes. I hate going to work too. But like, that's the only way that you could provide for your family, man, like, is putting in some type of work. Even if you're a content creator, it requires you putting in work. Everything that makes you money, unless you're doing it passively like stocks, is a job, you know? And even when you get to the highest levels of that, you know, the brokers, that's a full-time job for them. I don't know. Let's hear what else he has to say, man.
Wake up at 4 p.m., do some chores, brush my teeth, take a shower. It's already 7 p.m. Got to help my parents make dinner. By that time, once I'm done eating, it's 9 p.m. Then I'm back on the video games until 6 or 7 a.m. And nighttime, it passes by really quickly. Like, nighttime passes by a lot quicker than daytime. So it's already 6 or 7 a.m. before you know it, and I'm just sleeping throughout the day. So yeah, these past 9, almost 10 years have felt very quick. I mean, I remember it feels like I was just back in high school, back in 2016. So yeah, being a NEET.
I want to point out one thing really quickly before I forget. He said he wakes up at 4 p.m., you know, does some chores, helps his parents prepare dinner at 7. So he's been up for 3 hours and then it's time for dinner. Crazy. But the thing that I want to talk about is the parents. Why aren't the parents pushing him, specifically his dad? If his dad is in his life, why isn't his dad pushing him as a man? I was going to say a young man. No, you're a fully grown man. Why isn't his dad pushing him out there like, hey, you got to contribute because mom and myself won't be here for the rest of your life. You're going to have to provide for yourself. And his dad should also want his son to be disciplined and understand work ethic so that if he decides to have children one day, he can be that for his, you know, for his family. He can instill that in his kids and lead his wife or his girl or whatever. But his parents should definitely have said something to him.
Years have felt very quick. I mean, I remember it feels like I was just back in high school, back in 2016. So yeah, being a NEET, it has its benefits, it has its drawbacks, but you know, I'm happy I don't have to work. And I mean, my future might not look so bright, but you know, we'll figure it out when we get there.
That is the worst mindset to have. We'll figure it out when we get there. Let me just give y'all a quick story time, right? When I was growing up, when I was a little kid, I had a childhood best friend. Me and him were like brothers. We had a house that separated us. So it was my house, a house in the middle, and then his house. I would run over to his house first thing in the morning every single day. His mom would take me to school because my mom would leave really, really early. His mom would take me to school. I would come back from school, go hang out with him after school. We'd be riding bikes around the neighborhood. That was like my brother. And his mom was like my second mom. She did not have to work. She had 3 sons and she was getting alimony and child support for all 3 of them. You know, she had gotten into a divorce when she was young and she kept the kids, but she was getting paid for keeping the kids. You know, so she was good. She had a house, all of that, and she never had to work. When her last son turned 18, the one that I was best friends with, when he turned 18, all of that stopped. So here she is in her 60s, no more alimony, no more child support, no money saved. She had to, at 60 years old, go get a job. And that's all because she had that mindset. Now I'll give y'all, the story ends happily. One of her sons, the firstborn, genius. Dude ended up making it, became a chemical engineer, and she doesn't have to work anymore because he retired her, you know, he's paying for her and she stays with him. So that woman, which she deserves it because that was a fantastic woman. That was like my second mom. Shouts out to her. But not everybody's going to be that lucky. This dude is going to be her, but he's not going to have somebody to take care of him. You see what I'm saying? He's going to be 60 years old having to start at ground zero because he's like, we'll worry about it when we get there. Nah, man, not smart at all. But I'm going to go ahead and leave the video off right here. I'll leave his TikTok account linked in the description so you can go check out his stuff. The one thing that I learned from watching this video is stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. Have some accountability. Develop some discipline and pull your own weight. Society is already too jam-packed with people for us to not be pulling our weight. Before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel. That's it for this one. I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace.